Welcome to the Insomnia Project. Sit back, relax, and listen as we have a conversation about the ordinary, the mundane. Just a casual conversation, actually. One thing that we can promise is that our conversation will be less than fascinating so that you can feel free to just relax and drift off. I want to thank you for joining us. We hope you will listen and sleep. I'm your host, Marco Timpano. Today's episode is sponsored by Casper.com. If you go to caspertrial.com/insomnia, you'll get 50% off the purchase of your next mattress. And of course, a mattress is an important part of sleep. I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming a great friend, Res Krebs, to the podcast today. Welcome.
Hi, Marco.
And we were just talking. We actually have an Amaro that we're enjoying. And I said to Res, I said, what do you really enjoy? And he said, I'm really enjoying winter. I said, let's talk about winter. So what is it about winter that you're enjoying this year in particular?
Well, I had the great pleasure of going back to British Columbia, where I'm from, seeing my family, and kind of traipsing around British Columbia in the snow.
Okay.
In the pretty crazy snow. I was in Prince George, a place where
I have recently been, and we love as well. So
I just had this like a great experience for about 2 weeks. I was out there snowshoeing, skiing, shoveling snow. You know, I love the feeling like when you walk out the door and you kind of get that crystallizing in your nostrils.
yes.
Yeah, I love that feeling.
For anyone who hasn't experienced that, because we have a lot of listeners who aren't in cold climates, right? It's that brisk, sort of bright feeling when you go out into the cold, when it's very cold, that your nostrils, every hair in your nostrils sort of stand on edge. And it's a very interesting sort of feeling that is difficult, clearly, to describe. But once you've experienced it, you know it. And it's one thing that I think connects Canadians too, because everyone knows that feeling.
The nostril freezing.
Yeah.
It's bracing. You know, you get that you know the cold air hits your cheeks as you walk out the front door, and you know you just feel alive.
Yeah.
Granted, you know you have to be prepared for it.
Sure.
But frankly, we're Canadian.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't we prepared for it?
Well, it's all part and parcel of the experience of going outdoors in the winter.
Yeah.
Amanda always says, you can never have a quick Canadian exit in a play in the winter because we have so much to put on. So it's not like you can just have like, you know, the end of your argument and you storm out. There's no storming out because you've got to put on your galoshes, put on your snow pants. You've got to put on your heavy boots, your gloves, your big jacket, your scarf, your toque, and all these things before you exit. So there's no quick storming out.
It's really important, in fact, to make sure that you have your big arguments with your family either in the summer,
sure,
or once you've already got your
gear,
boots on.
Yeah.
Right?
Have you ever experienced it so cold that you can feel the inside of your lungs by the cold air coming in? I was in Winnipeg years and years ago, and it was minus 45, more plus the wind chill. I've never experienced cold like that before. And I could feel my lungs on the inside of my body, and I've never had that sensation. I could feel how large my lungs were and where they extended to.
Oh, definitely. And you feel like sometimes, it's hard to breathe. I remember it was years ago now. I was living in Prince George, and I had done like a little too much outside activity when it was really cold.
Okay.
And my I think I had actually damaged the hairs inside my lungs.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had this kind of like cough. But regardless, we're trying to talk about how great winter is.
No, but there is, you know, it's interesting because people would be like, oh, cold. But there's something beautiful and relaxing about the winter. And there is a beautiful brightness about a winter walk in the snow.
Totally.
You said you went snowshoeing. The sound, there's a certain crunch that snow makes. Actually, there's a certain crunch that certain types of snow make.
Definitely, yeah.
I feel like each type of snow makes a different sound beneath your foot.
Yeah, exactly. I went snowshoeing recently, and that like
tell me about that.
That rhythm when you're out there, you know, and it was snowing that day, and I. You know, when I got back in, I had all the icicles all over my beard, right? But, you know, I felt like an Arctic explorer. But you get into that rhythm out there, and, you know, you're just kind of trudging and just, you know, getting into that kind of the feeling of working your body while it's cold outside. You're keeping yourself warm just through the work.
Sure.
No, it just feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that feels great. Like even said, like a nice brisk walk in the winter in snow feels great. And the other thing that feels great is when you come inside. So there's like this two-part thing about winter and the relaxing, calming aspect of winter. I was going to say nature, but it's an aspect of winter that you enjoy it, and there's a relaxing calm and a brightness that the sun reflecting off the snow too gives you. And the moment you walk inside and you take off that gear and you just sit down in a warm home, feels so beautiful.
Oh, definitely enjoying an Amaro with a friend.
Sure.
As I did today, I came in off the slushy, snowy streets of Toronto here and was welcomed into your home. Yeah.
Or even like a coffee or a hot chocolate,
Definitely.
Something warming.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, an Amaro or a liquor-based drink will also warm you, but even those kind of things, I would argue that a hot chocolate tastes better when it's cold and snowy outside.
Sure. I agree.
Just like people say wine tastes better in a wine glass. Right. I think those types of drinks, especially a hot chocolate with marshmallows, taste better when it's cold and snowy outside.
Definitely. I mean, and if you have the, if you can get a fire going, and I was skiing at Purdon Mountain in Prince George.
Okay.
Which is a pretty small mountain, but like lovely spot. And in there, their chalet that was built in the the 40s or something. They have this beautiful wood burning fireplace, and you can like put your toque on there and let it dry. The steam starts coming off, and you can put your feet in front of it, and just relax and warm up in between runs. It's great.
I need to mention for our listeners who aren't Canadian, everyone knows that this is a Canadian-centric podcast, and they all seem to enjoy that.
We're talking about winter.
Well, they were talking about winter, sure. And I need to explain what a toque is, because people who aren't familiar with what a toque is will be like, what are they talking about right now? So a toque is a winter wool or a winter knit hat that looks kind of like I think Americans call them beanies, but I would not say they look like beanies. They're their own thing. And we call them toques because the word comes from the town in Quebec named Tuque.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I heard that somewhere. And I think I heard it on CBC, to be honest with you. So it doesn't get much more Canadian than that. You hear about toques on the CBC. So, it's its own knit hat that we wear. Yeah, that everyone sort of has. I can count 3 right now. I have 3 different ones just hanging on my coat rack in case you need one on your venture out.
I have a question.
Sure, please.
Do you prefer toques with pom-poms?
Oh, okay.
Or without?
That's a great question. Right now, I'm really digging the ones without. But I do like those nostalgic ones that we're seeing. So, a traditional toque when I was a kid always had a pom-pom on it, right? And now I've got, everyone that I have does not have a pom-pom. But if I got a knit one, if I got a hand-knit toque, then I would want a pom-pom. Yeah. What about you?
I mean, right now my main toque is without a pom-pom.
Okay.
I think partly the style is to have it kind of back on your head, so there's no pom-pom on it. But
sure.
My favorite toque, which I don't know where it went, is a green hand-knit, like high-gauge wool with a beautiful pom-pom on top.
Does it have any writing on it?
No, it's got kind of a little bit of it's green on green kind of snowflake pattern.
Great.
It's beautiful.
I like these toques now that have they'll say places in the city. So you'll see it'll say Ossington with a pom-pom on it. Have you seen them? Yeah.
No, I haven't seen them.
They're expensive is the only thing. They're like, I kind of look at them like, it's great. I should probably spend the money, but it's like, that's too much for a toque. You know what I mean? It's something and yet if I was, let's say I was in Prince George and I saw one that's at Prince George, I would easily spend that money, right? It's always in your own place that you're more hesitant to that.
With Mr. PG on it, yeah.
Mr. PG is sort of the symbol of Prince George, I guess, or it's...
He's kind of the mascot.
Mascot, that's what
he was originally constructed out of whole logs.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, and he was brought to, I believe, London in the 1950s during a World's Fair. He was erected in London. He's this huge kind of stick man made of logs.
Yeah, the trunk of the body is a tree trunk.
A huge tree. And he's got a circular head. And he was originally made out of wood. They brought him back to Prince George. He started to rot. They had they replaced him with I think he's made out of fiberglass now, but he still stands there at the corner when you enter the town with his flag, Mr. PG.
So when I was in Prince George just last year, I ran into you, which was amazing, in Prince George. And one of the things that I loved, I had an extremely, I wouldn't even say Canadian moment, an extremely northern BC, northern British Columbian moment. We were in a bar, and the table was made of a slab of wood. And I turned to you and your sister, and I feel like there was someone else there. And I said, what wood is it? And there was a debate for about 15 minutes about the wood, the slab of wood. So it was a trunk that was cut lengthwise into a really long, I would say like an 8-foot table, which was probably about 4 feet wide.
It was a huge table.
It was a huge table. And I said, what do you think this is? And I just kind of casually asked it because it was a beautiful table in this beautiful little bar restaurant we were in. And then you three just for 10 minutes discussed the wood, and
I still think it was fir.
Yeah, you said fir. It was certainly not poplar. That's one thing that I knew, because like I may have mentioned poplar, and I got dirty looks from everyone. I got dirty looks from people at other tables.
Fir, spruce, or pine, Marco.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. And then one would be too expensive. I remember it was like, no, that's too expensive. We don't have them that big anymore. It would be cost far too big. It was a great conversation about, and I'm like, you're in a town where logging is an important aspect of it when people are talking about wood with such emotion and love and passion,
Definitely.
Yeah, that was a great moment for me.
That was a great bar. They had like a taxidermy bear in the corner. It was like so Prince George.
They made their own beer. And you could get a growler there, bring your growler in, and all that kind of stuff. It was pretty great. It was pretty great.
So yeah, being in Prince George was like it's here in Toronto you get the freeze thaw,
sure,
right, and it's kind of slushy outside.
Oh, did you see? I had to throw so much salt on my front there. It was
not
like
awesome,
no,
right?
it's
like,
not.
This is and we're nearing here in Toronto anyway. I think we're nearing the end of winter.
Oh,
well,
you don't know.
It gets to this point where people get a little bit pissed off, but
right.
And I think that actually being in the city makes winter harder because you have to get places, and the schedule is always the same.
Yeah.
When you live in a place like Prince George, everyone is kind of bound by the weather, and if it snows 60 centimeters like it did the day I left last Wednesday, well, nothing's happening.
Right.
Right? And hey, it means there's literally a snow day for everyone.
And speaking of snow days, those are the days when I was a kid that were just the glory days. If you did not go to school because there was a snow day, there was too much snow, the buses weren't running, and you had a snow day, it was like one of the reasons why you loved winter as a kid, right?
Yeah.
And my niece just experienced a snow day. I called and I was like, why are you home? And she's like, it's a snow day. And I'm like, I remember those days where you get to just do whatever and watch television that you wouldn't necessarily watch and play with friends and go tobogganing. Did you toboggan when you were out there?
I did not toboggan this time. I have taken my nephews out and tobogganed in previous visits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how important is the quality of the toboggan for you when you toboggan?
I mean, it's funny because the ones that are the most, fancy with the little steering wheel and stuff are often like not even nearly as good as just an old plastic bag.
No, I know. The steering ones, they always look better than they are, in my opinion. I like the wooden toboggan that seats like 3 people with the curved front, like a sleigh bed or whatever. Yeah. And that's my favorite toboggan to use.
And it'll go.
It'll go. And those things there are like the classic toboggan that you're like, there's a reason you don't reinvent the wheel. This is the one that's my preferred toboggan.
Yeah, I feel like they were probably actually like means of transportation at some point.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know.
By a dog or, well, hell, it's probably a dog sled.
Yeah, I guess. But it's so, you mentioned how winter in the city can be a little bit trying. One thing I will say, I don't live too far from Christie Pits.
Oh, lovely.
And when it snows and you just see families out there tobogganing with the backdrop of the city, it's one of the most lovely things that you can experience.
Over 90 of the top 100 U.S. accounting firms trust Bill to handle bill pay processes. Why? Because our tools are built on over $1 trillion of secure payments. We're not just moving money. We're powering financial workflows for 500,000 customers. That's a level of expertise you just can't fake. Ready to talk with an expert? Visit Bill.com/proven to get started and grab a $250 gift card as a thank you. Terms and conditions apply. See offer page for details.
To tip off this NBA season on FanDuel, you can choose your own rewards, which means you can play your game any way you want.
I get to choose my rewards?
Yep.
Great! Now, excuse me while I lock in.
All customers choose your own reward right now in the FanDuel app. 21 plus and present in select states. 18 plus in Kentucky. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirement, and max wager amount. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We need to keep kids safe online, but some special interests are sending policymakers in the wrong direction, pushing the so-called App Store Accountability Act, demanding government ID from all users just to download an app, replacing parents' judgment with government mandates. It doesn't even stand up in court. A better bipartisan bill, the Parents Over Platforms Act, would put parents in the driver's seat, empowering parents and businesses to keep kids safe without drowning all of us in red tape. Tell Congress to get it done right and put parents over platforms.
Paid for by ACT, the App Association.
It's my turn for those who aren't in Toronto. Christy Pitts.
Yes, thank
There's
you.
an old gravel pit.
Is that what it was, a gravel pit?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Huge steep embankments. And yeah, you can really, I mean, you could probably hurt yourself pretty bad going down there.
You'll go fast. Yeah. One time, so get this. So this is a maybe not such a relaxing story, but so my parents had a bit of a slope in their backyard that went into just a field. I don't even know what it was. Now there's homes in it, but it was just like it was a slope, and it was a pretty steep slope. And so I was kind of like, it's fun to go down, but then when you have to go back up as a kid, it's a lot of work, right? Especially through snow. And this was not a groomed area. Like this was like this little grassy field that had really tall grasses that were now covered in snow, but were still there. And it was like not easy. So I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. My 13-year-old self, I'm going to tie a rope to the sled and attach it to the house. And that way, when we go down, I can walk up and not carry the sled and pull the sled up. Well, what I didn't realize is what happens when you take the sled down and the rope is attached to the sled in the end of the house, but there's still more travel to go.
Oh, no.
It slingshots you off, right? So me and my sister on that, going down really fast, and then all of a sudden we get to the end of the rope, but there's still steep to travel, and we get slingshot off the toboggan.
And you landed in the snow?
Yeah, luckily there was snow everywhere, so we landed in it.
Yeah.
What other outdoor activities do you like to do in the winter? Or is there something else that winter brings that you enjoy?
Well, actually, this weekend I'm going camping in the winter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you done that before?
I have, but I mean, I'm lucky. I have a camper van.
Okay.
So I'm going up to Algonquin. They open
beautiful.
up part of the park. They actually rent out kind of pioneer-style tents with wood stoves inside them.
Okay.
But I'll just take one of the plug-in things. I've got a heater in there,
Wow.
pop top, right? And then we can go cross-country ski. Or there's a skating oval up near Algonquin Park that I think is the longest in the world.
What exactly is a skating oval? I don't even know. So
It's like a trail in the woods, but it's for ice skating.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge. It's kilometers long.
So you can ice skate the trail, in other words. So it's not just so it's kind of like you're walking in the woods, but you're walking on skates. You're skating in the woods. Oh, that sounds tremendous.
It's amazing. We did it last year.
Wow.
It was beautiful. So yeah, we'll go up there. We may rent some skis, do some cross country skiing. We already have snowshoes. We'll definitely do some snowshoeing.
Wow.
We'll go in. There's a huge kind of tent there where they have a big fire going.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
They'll probably have some music. It's kind of like an interesting little community event for Family Day weekend.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because we have a national holiday coming up, which is called Family Day. So you're going up for Family Day.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great thing to do.
Yeah.
Everyone associates that sport or that recreational activity of camping for summer months. So it's great that you can do it in the winter.
I love it. I've done it. I've been in the winter tenting before. The issue, I think, is that the length of day really hampers how much time you get outside. So you have to stick around in the tent. With this, it's kind of it's car camping, so it's a little easier.
Sure.
There's you can bring your headlamp out. You can go and hang out in the kind of area. And yeah, it's fun.
Right. Well, it sounds like a cool winter activity. I'm trying to think of other winter activities that I enjoy. I've always enjoyed winter, though. Winter's always been, I prefer a winter to a summer. I always have. I think it's because I'm born in December. So for me, it always was like a time of like fun and festivities and whatnot. You've got Christmas, you've got birthdays. For me, that was a big thing as a kid. So it carried over to my adult life.
I mean, snowball fights.
Yes.
Right? With my little nephews, it's always a snowball fight.
Have you ever built a snow fort?
Oh, yes, definitely. Love snow forts.
Yeah, snow forts.
Yeah, last year when I was in Prince George, we built a huge snow fort. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always fantastic.
A good friend of mine builds a ice rink in the back because his son is a big hockey player or enjoys playing hockey.
Yeah.
So I went and I was like, this is a serious ice rink you've built in your backyard. Because I remember as a kid just getting the hose and turning it on and like splashing in the backyard on the snow and creating ice, and we skated on that, and it was not great. And he's like, oh no, this is serious stuff. We even have like a groomer to make sure that it's level and flat and whatnot. Yeah. And he had like sideboards. It was kind of like a kit. I don't know, it was incredible.
It's a lot of work actually to maintain an ice rink, and you got to really want to use it.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law used to play in the Western Hockey League.
Oh.
And he does the same thing. He makes his big his big ice rink outside, and he's always like to my nephew, okay, it's time for you to go out and play, like ice skate. You got ice skate. And well, unfortunately, my little nephew wants to play Nintendo Switch instead, right?
Fair enough.
I mean, he's been outside all day, frankly, but
Are there books you prefer to read in the winter versus the summer? Does that change?
Actually, it's funny. In the winter, I seem to be more active in my like professional life, my like intellectual life. I'm reading more like magazines and news in the winter. So yeah, I'm like more like activated in terms of what's happening. In the summer, it seems to be a lot more like languid and time for novels. Right. In the winter, I'm reading The Walrus or The New Yorker or Toronto Star or the kind of like more
topical,
serious, more serious stuff, right? Yeah, listening to podcasts.
Yeah. Sure. No, for me it's the opposite. I prefer a thicker, longer book in the winter. One that will take time. Usually fiction. I'm much more of a non-fiction reader. But in the winter, that's when I'll read my fiction, and if it's a longer book, I'm happy to read it and just take my time with it. Whereas in the summer or warmer months, I'd like to get through things quicker and just be done with them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the latest book you've been reading?
I'm actually reading this book about the Swedish art of like chillin' and like just like I think it's called Legume. I should look it up. I have it upstairs and I'm reading. It's kind of like what the Swedes do actually in wintertime and in times of like rest, and how they really enjoy life and how they just embrace the winter and being comfortable and being warm and just enjoying a wool blanket or wool socks and really getting into it.
So, I love it.
Yeah, what an interesting question, because that's actually what's on my bedside.
They do the saunas, right? The nice hot sauna, and then they jump out into the snow and roll around.
Mm-hmm. One of the chapters was about that and how, it's just a part of their culture. And if you're in Sweden, that's what you do.
Yeah.
I was in Thunder Bay. And they have Finns up there. Yeah, a lot of Finns, and they have a sauna culture there, which was really kind of neat. It was like, we're at a sauna/pancake house, and it was like, wow, this is really great. And they have their Finnish pancakes. And I love things like that. Yeah. That really gets me going when I see different cultural things, especially different cultural things that take place that are specific to a season. There's always one.
There's a Russian spa up north here in Toronto. And they have like the multiple pools, and there's like this big fat Russian guy that will whip you with tree branches to like. I
don't think his weight really is a factor in what he does.
I think it lends authority.
Okay, fair enough.
I think if he was a skinny guy, it wouldn't feel right.
I've been to a Russian sauna years ago in New York. A friend of ours was a tour guide in Russia and said, "I will take you to a proper Russian bath, Russian sauna." So we went. And there was this large, he looked very muscular Russian gentleman who had branches and was kind of hitting people with these branches. And I said to my friend, what exactly is going on? And he said, they're eucalyptus branches. And so when you whip the person, this is what he said, I have no authority, this could be incorrect. When you take the branches and kind of I hate to say whip, but like flagellate or wrap them on the person's back, it releases the oils of the eucalyptus, and so it's a pleasant odor. Your skin gets refreshed and wakens up and whatnot. So
I believe it. Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to my girlfriend and I have been planning on going into this Russian spa. So one day before the end of winter, definitely we'll end up.
Oh, that's great. So, yeah. And so it's like a classic Russian spa.
Yeah, like hot pools, hot pools, cold pools, the whipping. Yeah, and also kombucha. They ferment kombucha. Yeah,
of course. And that's the best time to be having kombuchas in the winter.
Really?
Have you ever been in a whirlpool or jacuzzi when it's been snowing and it's cold out? That's an awesome feeling.
Amazing. Yeah.
Once again, I did that in Prince George for the first time.
I did it in Prince George too.
I don't know. Like I think we have another podcast where I talk about Prince George. I have this real love for Prince George. How can you not?
Right? I mean, this is the funny thing. Like, I don't think that a lot of people know about this place. It's in the middle of British Columbia. Like, it's a logging town.
Right.
Pretty rough.
Sure.
But as you said, great food.
Amazing food. So they have this one pizzeria. Sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Where they use birch, not birch logs. I was going to say birch trees, but birch logs. They only use the birch logs to cook their pizzas in, right? So they have a proper stone oven that they use wood to cook on. A wood burning stove is what I'm trying to say. I'm getting at.
Why did they? Is there a reason why only birch?
And so I thought, well, okay, it doesn't really matter what wood you use, but actually the birch imparts a lovely nutty flavor to the pizza that I've never experienced before. Because I just said, let's go to this pizza place. It's called Batula Burning. And I said, let's go there and have it. And I said, I'm sure it's not going to be as good as pizza that I'm used to. And it was, and I could not eat my words more. It was fantastic. Some of the best pizza I had was there. They use birch, and they use birch because it's an inexpensive wood.
Amazing. And it actually tastes good.
And it imparts a wonderful flavor on the pizza. So if you're in Prince George, definitely enjoy these winter activities and try this pizza is what I have to say.
I was just there a week ago Friday.
Okay.
They cure their own meats.
Yes.
I mean, it's a great spot.
It's a pretty great spot. Yeah. I have to say, well, I will tell you this. It's been great having you on the podcast. We've come to the end. I want to thank you, Res, for being on our show today.
I really appreciate the opportunity, Mark. It was super fun to chat with you.
You were one of our original fans because when we originally did the podcast, we had you come in and we had so many problems with that audio at that time that we could never use that episode.
Oh no.
No, and it was a great episode. I'm sure it's
cork.
Yeah, it was about cork. So we'll have you back to talk about cork so that we can actually have that. But thank you again, Res.
Excellent. Thanks, Marco.
As always, the Insomnia Project is produced by Drumcast Productions.